One of the things we've taught major corporations, salespeople, and major companies like Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, Microsoft, GlaxoSmithKline, et cetera, is how to compartmentalize their emotions in the sales process, and in some cases in the recruiting process. Okay, so why compartmentalization? This ability, in other words, to put your thoughts in sort of an airtight, figuratively speaking, an airtight box, so no other thoughts intrude on your concentration on those specific thoughts. Like if you're trying to sell something to someone, you want to be focused completely, obviously, on the sales process. If you're trying to recruit someone, you want to be doing the exact same thing without any other thoughts interfering. Well, here's the problem. The problem is people have other parts of their lives that interfere. Let's say a salesperson is going out to talk to a potential customer, and they just had a big fight with their wife or a big fight with their husband. And they're very upset about this. And now they go in and they're nose to nose with the potential customer, and they can't get the fight out of their head. That's when emotional compartmentalization is invaluable. It makes all the difference in the world. So how do you do this? How do you actually learn to compartmentalize? And it's really, really simple. It's a skill that can be developed. It's not really a talent, it's more of a skill. And here's how it works. You practice focusing on one line of thinking for as long as you can. And you literally time it with a stopwatch or with your phone or whatever to see how long you can think about one thing to the exclusion of everything else without any of the thoughts entering your mind. Now, it might sound easy, but it's not. I'm telling you, it's really not easy to do. And if you can master it, wow. You can take emotions and literally put them on the side and get in that airtight box. And for that specific interaction, whether it's a minute long or it's 60 minutes long or it's 6 days long, you can keep that focus. That's that emotional compartmentalization. Okay, let me give you an example of this. Okay, I grew up on the national junior tennis circuit with a guy named Jimmy Brown. And Jimmy Brown was a fabulous junior tennis player. I mean, national champion many times over. And he just idolized Yvonne Lendl, who you may remember from way back, the great tennis champion. I mean, he literally had posters of Yvonne Lendl on his bedroom wall. So here's the story. Jimmy Brown turns 18 and he turns pro. And in his very first tournament as a professional tennis player, you won't believe who he drew in the first round. Yvonne Lendl. Brown was thrilled. This was his hero. This was it. This was the whole deal. But remember, he idolized him. He was intimidated at a super high level with Yvonne Lendl, like anyone would, but especially him because this was his hero during his entire rise to junior stardom all the way to his first tournament as a professional, which was right today. So here's the story. Jimmy Brown hits the winning shot. He plays the best tennis match of his life, and he beats Yvonne Lendl. Newspaper said the next day it was the biggest upset since David beat Goliath. So what happened was Jimmy Brown hits the shot and passes Lendl at the net, runs up to the net, shakes hands with Lendl. Crowd's going crazy. And they walk off the court, and at the very last second, Brown grabs Lendl by the lapel, turns him around, and he says, "Mr. Lendl, can I have your autograph?" And that made headlines all over the world. It was in every newspaper I could find back in the day in the 80s. Just amazing. So the point of it was Jimmy Brown was a master at emotional compartmentalization. Imagine being 18 years old and playing one of the greatest tennis players in the history of the game, who is your idol, your absolute idol. And you have to perform. You can't perform like he's your idol or he's your hero. You got to perform as a pro. And that's exactly what Jimmy Brown did. And he won the match. And as soon as he started walking off the court, because once a tennis player shakes hands, the match is over. Now the compartment dissolves. Now he walks off the court, and now he's just Jimmy Brown, huge Yvonne Lendl fan, who's asking for his autograph. He turned it on, he won the match, he executed, and then he turned it off and became a human being again. That is world-class emotional compartmentalization. And frankly, anyone can do it.